Finn Russell and Marcus Smith, two of the most exciting tens in the competition, went head-to-head in Paris. My name is Mark. Let's talk rugby. This one was a real humdinger of a game. Plenty of attacking intent from both teams right from the off. Both looking for that win that would give them the chance to get into the knockout stages. Start off at 100 miles an hour. We have a Herbs tackle off the ball. It's a penalty to Racing. They go up the line. The line out not very clean from them, but they still retain the ball. They then spread it out to the backs. Plenty of offloads from them, trying to keep the ball live. Ball does go loose to the floor though, but Gallant is in there for them. He collects the ball. He puts BQ through a gap and over. Russell adds the extras 7-0 to Racing right at the start. Then have another penalty to Racing. Again, to go up the line. They have another good position. The move breaks down though to try and spread the ball this time. Then Quins win a penalty at the scrum for Gormasa basically collapsing. And that was kind of a theme for the game. Like Quins really did have the nudge in the scrum and won plenty of penalties there. In terms of the rest of the set piece, the lineout was kind of, a bit mixed. Neither team really securing their own ball every time and being able to get up and disrupt the opposition as well at times. But Quins, they have a deliberate knock on and they can't really get out of their own half at this stage of the game. Racing come back into the 22. Quins so nick the line out. This time they clear, but it's gathered by Racing and they break up the wing again, and pressure really is mounting on Quins. At that point, we do though have an error from Woki, kind of lets them off the hook. Then, and he made a few errors, kind of knock-ons throughout the game. Racing set piece at this stage, not really going very well. Get free kicked at the scrum, and then from the resulting line out, it's not straight either. We have though a no arms tackle from Kamikamika, kind of allows Quins to get into the Racing 22 for the first time. Who was it? Sailihi. He intercepts for Racing and they're able to clear. And at that point, Quins are just kind of containing Racing, but there are plenty of warning signs there that Racing just need something to click and they're going to add to their lead. Evans wins a penalty at the breakdown though for Quins. They kick into the 22. Racing close the gap at the line out and they get free kicked. And then we have Gormasa. He concedes a penalty at the scrum, but also gets injured, so he has to go off. Quins can't make any real progress from there, so they decide that they'll take the points. Smith puts the penalty over, and we're at 7-3. And her kind of discipline from Racing is allowing Quins to kind of work their way back into the game. We then have another scrum penalty to Quins, and Racing are given a warning by Brace, who's the ref for this one. It's 50 meters out. Smith decides to go for it again, but he misses to the right. He did have the distance, just not the accuracy on that one. We then have a little while later, Quins have an attacking scrum. They make some decent ground. And Morris goes over in the corner. But we have a check. Originally, the on-field decision was a try. Then when we check, we see that Racing are able to get in under the ball. And then initially get under the ball, and then Morris then tries to kind of flip over and ground again, but they get in under the ball again. or prevent them from grounding. So it's no try for that one. Dombrandt then is pinged for coming in at the side, and Racing are able to get themselves into a good attacking position just as we are closing out the half. Kamakamika, he gets put through a gap and scores on the post. We have a Timo check for possible obstruction, but it's all good. Russell adds on the extras and it's 14-3. Then have a penalty to Racing for a deliberate knock on. But Russell kicks that one dead. Decent position for Racing, kind of wasted there. Then Quins will win yet again win a scrum penalty. They get deep into the 22, but that comes to nothing, and halftime score was 14-3. Game was pretty even at that stage, and kind of Quins would be, not too happy with the scoreline because they would have felt that should be more even on the scoreboard as it is on the field. Second half, though, Racing start quickly. Sailihi finishes in the corner after Racing basically went through the big hole in the defence. Russell adds the extras on that one, and it's 21-3. And suddenly, Quins have a big uphill battle from here. As I said, it's been pretty even for most of the game, but they're 3 tries down. But we do have another penalty to Quins for a deliberate knock on. They line out, maul, drive, does go over the line, like the kick into the corner and maul it. We do have a TMO check for grounding. But again, Garrick gets his hand under the ball, second time that he's done it in the game. So no try, but we did have a penalty advantage to Quins, so they go into the corner again. The maul is held short this time, but Kerr is able to snipe from the base of the ruck, and he gets himself over. Smith converts that one, and it's actually from pretty out wide as well. It's a decent kick. We're at 21-10 then. We then have a kick through by Racing, and Imhoff gets to it first, but he actually grounds the ball on the dead ball line. So it's a 22 dropout for Quins. But Quins are beginning to exert some pressure. They're forcing errors as well for Racing. You can see that they are coming back in the game. We do have a Smith break off the scrum. Lovely show and go from him. And then he weaves through the defence and puts, who was it? Murley, right? Yeah. So Murley goes over in the corner. Smith converts the try, and it's at 21-7. All the momentum is with Quins at this stage. But then Morris gets himself a yellow card for tackling in the air. It was actually a decent kick, basically high, long kick. Decent chase from Morris. Just got the timing wrong on it, and he gets a yellow card. So Quins down to 14 at that point. Racing then win another penalty for tackling off the ball, and Russell does the business from the tee to stretch the lead out to 24-17. Racing then go close, but the move breaks down just before the line, and Dombrandt then gets a yellow card for Quins, and they're down to 13 players for about 4 minutes, I think it was, in the end. Racing had, there was a high hit that Dombrandt mentioned earlier on in the move, but it wasn't checked by anyone, so there might be a sighting on that one if footage comes out of that one. But yeah, down to 13 players for Quins and not looking good. Them. Kamikmika then, he goes off the back 5 meter scrum. There's a TMO check for this for a possible try, but it's lost forward by Woki in the build-up. As I said, he didn't have his best game in this one. Quins then, they're able to work their way upfield. They attack off the scrum. Smith puts in a really big step, like it's kind of quite Quay Cooper goose step-esque. This one makes some decent ground off that, and the ball is kicked into the 22 and goes into touch. It was one of the forwards, maybe one of the second rows for Quins, actually put the kick through, and it was almost gathered by Evans, who's just on the pitch, but still decent pressure and position for Quins. The line-out then goes over the top, and Quins pounce on it, and Murley goes over in the corner again. This time the conversion is dragged wide, and we're at 24-22. Quins are have the numerical disadvantage, but still have that momentum with them. But then Racing win a penalty at the breakdown. Russell just about keeps it between the posts, and we're at 27-22. So a little bit of breathing room for Racing, but you can sense that Quins have more in them at this stage. Russell then spills the ball inside his own 22. It was basically high kick, and it's right on the edge of the 22. And he kind of takes his eye off the ball to check if he's in the 22 for the mark, and then the ball goes between his hands. He knocks it on, and from that, then Tafafanua, he gets a yellow card because as the ball breaks, he slaps the ball forward. Deliberate knock on. Decided there was a bit of cover, so it's not a penalty try. But Quins go into the corner from that penalty. They mess up the line out again, though, but luckily for them, they win under a penalty, so they go back into the corner, and Benarouz then gets a yellow card for collapsing the maul close to the line, and now it's Racing who were down to 13 players. Quins at this stage are back to full complement. We're into the last few minutes of the game, and Quins are just applying so much pressure, and they're still in the danger zone in the 22. They're trying to spread the ball from the right wing infield, and Russell puts his hand out. Originally, it's just given as a knock on, then the TMO check and decide it's a deliberate knock on, and there's no cover at all behind them. So, yellow card for Russell, penalty try, Quins up 29-27 with just a couple of minutes left on the clock. Racing now are down to 12. But to somehow win a penalty at the restart, like I thought Quins with the numerical advantage would have made sure that they won the restart, but they don't. So Racing then popped the penalty over. Not sure who it was because Russell was off the field at this stage, but they retake the lead. Quins do try and go after the win at the restart, and they have a bit of an overlap, but they knock on under pressure from Racing. Racing are able to clear upfield, and Woki, as I said, who's had a pretty poor game, he steals the line out for Racing, and Quins don't get the ball back. Racing were able to run the clock down from there. Final score is 30-29. It really was a great comeback from Quins, but they let the victory in the end slip through their hands. They really should have been able to close out the game and win that restart there. Now they've got to win against the Sharks at home next weekend to have any chance at all to make the knockout stages. Racing really were lucky to win this one. but now they're going to have to beat Leinster away next weekend again to have any chance to qualify. But cracking game between two teams really giving it their all.